So happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.
We had a great plan. Last night we wanted to take you on our traditional New Year's Eve sunset experience at Boca Grande, Florida. But we got all the video in and did all the shooting and got home and found out the audio was all messed up. So we didn't want to waste the we didn't want to waste the video. So what we're going to do is kind of talk you through what we do during that night. So go.
So, what we'd like to talk about is what went well for the last year and what didn't go so well for the last year, and a little bit about what we anticipate for this coming year. So I'll start with the difficulties of last year. Like everybody pretty much on the planet, we had problems with the COVID-19 virus, which really disrupted our lives. It disrupted travel plans. It disrupted being able to visit with at least my biological family in Oklahoma, and
Since I don't have one anymore.
and it disrupted our businesses. It disrupted a lot of things that we normally do and like to do, and that was probably obviously the biggest disappointment of 2020. But what that did teach us, I think, particularly when we look at it in retrospect, is that it really allowed us to think about what's super important to us and what's really the top priority for us. And it became even more apparent, at least to me, that our relationship is really the bedrock and the foundation of everything that makes our life work, that makes our life worthwhile, that makes our life worth living. And we've concentrated on that, and you know, like everybody, we've had to spend more time together, more time isolated together, and that has made us look at each other, I think, with a little bit different perspective and a little bit deeper. And so I'm really grateful for that. As far as the coming year,
Wait, whoa. So we had to look at each other from a different perspective. So tell me what your perspective of me is now.
well, you're even more understanding and more.
Yeah, motorcycle.
You hit me off guard with that. You're more understanding and you're more considerate than I even realized. I knew that you were, but you've been thinking about how this is affecting me personally through various things in my life and through the health issues that I've had this past year, and I think that's most of it. And we've learned that we're a little bit more patient than we thought we were.
Yeah, actually, I mean, we practice patience. Patience is a verb, not a virtue. But yeah, I think that we both actively engage in focusing on being patient with each other. However, there are times when the wind blows the kitchen cabinets closed, as a former patient of mine used to say when they were stressed out dealing with their spouse who was in the process of making their transition with AIDS. But what else?
So that's pretty much it for me. As far as this coming year, I really anticipate being able to get back out and travel. I'd like to spend a little bit more time again with my biological family as well, and but mostly for us to travel, to get back to our normal life. We like to go out to eat once in a while. We like to go to movies and just be out in public, visit with friends, have friends over for dinner, go to their house for dinner, this type of thing that we've just not been able to do now for almost a year. I'm just so grateful that we did get to go to Puerto Rico when we did, just before this started.
We managed to get to Puerto Rico before this whole thing started. So, and there were a couple other trips that we got in, like we went to a cabin in North Carolina for my birthday in the mountains, up in the Smoky Mountains. It was absolutely gorgeous. And we got to go to the cottage down in Naples, Florida, which is a little resort down here, very much like the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. So, anything else?
No, that's
Let's
it.
start. Okay, so this was our 23rd New Year's Eve tradition that we have kind of incorporated in our lives we found that after all these years that traditions, creating traditions is very important to us. Rituals are very important to us of our own accord, not necessarily following the norm. So we go out, and as Gary said, we go out and we kind of reflect the year, and kind of articulate what we would consider challenging experiences, but focusing more on, instead of what happened to us through the year, what the year did for us. And a couple of the things for me is that I have been diagnosed with several health issues that are challenging, and I had issues with my eyes prior to this, and they're not improving. So Gary kind of has to pick up the slack on things, because at times, most of the time, well, actually, it's really all of the time, I can't drive. And the ophthalmologists tell me I should be able to, but they don't live in my skin. So they don't really know what's going on. There's some other things going on with me that are causing vision problems. Beside that, I have been able to adapt, and fortunately, what COVID has done is afforded me the opportunity to see what it would be like in my practice, doing it from home with telehealth, by phone or by Zoom. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I was always adverse to that, but now that I had the opportunity, I really enjoy it. And in addition to which, I've been able to make the decision to cut down on my practice, and now I'm only practicing 10 hours a week. I had 2 practices, and I go into one in the office. The other one was at a hospital here, and I wouldn't go into the hospital, so I told them I was going to do it from home. But at least in my office, I can just go in the back door, go right to my office, and not have to interact with anybody, so that's what I do. But it's left me with time on my hands, so I decided that I would like to attempt creating a YouTube channel with the 2 of us in it. So this is the first video. What are they called? The premiere, as it were.
Better than Virgin.
Yeah. Well, it's better, yeah. The only problem is we don't have a red carpet. But, so anyway, that's what it's done for me. Now, what we normally like to do when we go out there is we just take, a sandwich or some finger food and a bottle of wine and a blanket and sit on the beach and eat our sandwiches and drink our wine, toast the wine. And I mean, the split second that the sun goes down and it turns black, because Florida virtually has no dusk, we pack up and go home. And as you see in these clips on the video, that's exactly what we're doing. Gary is much more apt at photography than I am, and he's rapidly becoming much more apt at video as well. So most of the things that we have in here are done with my action camera, but the really good video and the really beautiful photography he did. So that's what you're looking at right now as we're talking. So we just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what our New Year's Eve is like. And now that it's New Year's Day morning, we will start taking down the Christmas ornaments and things of that nature and get back on with life, and really start focusing on where in the hell we're going to get a vaccine from COVID since we can't seem to get in anywhere right now. And being senior citizens, they're already distributing them to us, but the minute they open up, they're closed. So that's what we'll be focusing on, and we really appreciate you watching and hope that your 2021 is wonderful. Of course, as we know, that's up to us to make it that way. And that's the way it'll be. So we will talk again, and thank you for watching. Hope you subscribe and hit the bell icon down there so you get notified when we have another video up.
And have a wonderful New Year.
I woke up in the middle of the night. Ooh, na, na, na. And I wondered how you're always right. It gets me. I couldn't see what you saw in me. Ooh, na, na, na. But you showed me how to believe. Still gets me. When I look back, I can see you're hiding, waiting for a moment to step in. And I'll never understand how you saw it coming. Oh, but I will love you for it all. Yeah, I will love you for it all. It is hard to share my thoughts. Ooh, na, na, na. It's like hiding a wound in a bleeding heart. It gets me. But I know that you need it all. Ooh, na, na, na. Just give me some time, 'cause I need to know that you're staying. When I look back, I can see you're hiding, waiting for a moment to step in. And I'll never understand how you saw it coming. Oh, but I will love you for it all. When I look back, I can see you're hiding, waiting for a moment to step in. Oh, and I'll never understand how you saw it coming. Oh, but I will love you for it all. Yeah.